Greetings to you all my lovely subscribers and viewers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel African Folktales by Dave. This is a continuation of the story called The Church of Deception Part 2. In this story we get to see Mama M rise to fame in deceitful ways, and how the devil can penetrate into churches and deceive true believers in Christ. We have the responsibilities to spread and raise awareness across the world. So do not forget to press that subscribe button to get notified when I upload new videos. Like and share this video. Comment below on your thoughts about our modern day churches. Thank you for your support and enjoy. The Church of Deception Part 2. The journey to the city was both exhilarating and overwhelming for Miriam. As the small car rattled along dusty roads that gave way to paved highways, she marveled at the transformation of the landscape. Fields and forests gave way to towering skyscrapers, bustling markets, and crowds of people moving with a sense of urgency she had never encountered. The trader took her to his home, a sprawling estate with marble floors, gilded furniture, and servants who catered to her every need. For the first time in her life, Miriam slept on a soft bed and ate meals she hadn't worked for herself. But the city was not without its challenges. The air was thick with pollution, and the constant noise of traffic and voices made it hard for her to find peace. She missed the simplicity of her village, the quiet nights under the stars, and the comforting presence of her grandmother. Yet she knew she couldn't turn back. The trader, who had become something of a mentor, introduced Miriam to local religious leaders and influential individuals. At first, she was treated with skepticism. What could a young woman from a remote village possibly offer in a city brimming with seasoned pastors and self-proclaimed prophets? But when Miriam spoke, something shifted. Her words carried a raw authenticity that resonated deeply with people. She didn't rely on elaborate theological explanations or dramatic theatrics. Instead, she spoke of simple truths: hope, love, resilience, and her voice seemed to carry a weight that demanded attention. Her first gathering was small, held in the trader's backyard. A dozen people showed up, curious to hear the village prophetess. Miriam was nervous, but as she began to speak, the words seemed to flow through her effortlessly. She spoke of the interconnectedness of all living things, of the trials people faced, and of the light that could guide them through the darkness. By the end of the session, several attendees claimed to feel transformed. One man said his chronic pain had vanished after Miriam prayed over him. Another woman, who had been struggling with infertility, said she felt a renewed sense of hope. At 35, Miriam's name soon became synonymous with hope and deliverance. She adopted the title Prophetess Miriam, and her followers affectionately began calling her Mama M, a term of endearment that signified both reverence and familial love. She built a modest church she named the Sanctuary of Light. The early days were promising. Mama M's fervent sermons attracted a small, loyal congregation of seekers eager for her prophetic insights. She became a source of hope for the downtrodden and a light to those in despair. But her ambitions stretched far beyond her humble beginnings. She envisioned a thriving ministry, her name whispered in awe across continents, her sermons reaching the masses. Yet, the growth she yearned for remained elusive. Despite her fiery preaching, donations trickled in rather than poured. Her congregation grew slowly, if at all. Each passing month brought mounting frustration, and her prayers for divine intervention seemed to echo back unanswered. One day, during a regional pastors' conference, Mama M met Bishop Ezekiel, a man whose church was renowned for its size and influence. Ezekiel's reputation preceded him. His ministry boasted private jets, luxury cars, and a global following. He seemed to embody everything Mama M desired for her own ministry. After the conference, Bishop Ezekiel approached her with a knowing smile. "You have potential, Mama M," he said, his voice dripping with charm. "But potential without power is like a river without flow. If you want to soar, you must tap into deeper spiritual realms." "What do you mean?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. "There's someone I think you should meet," he said cryptically. The following week, Mama M found herself in the dimly lit house of a spiritualist named Baba Kunena, a man shrouded in an aura of mystery. His home was a blend of traditional African mysticism and a faint veneer of Christianity, adorned with strange symbols. The room was dimly lit by flickering candles and masks hung on the walls, their hollow eyes staring down at her, while rows of clay jars filled with mysterious powders and liquids lined a nearby shelf. Baba Kunena sat cross-legged on a woven mat in the center of the room, his face partially hidden by the shadows. His eyes, however, burned with an intensity that made Mama M feel as though he could see into the deepest corners of her soul. "You have come," he said in a voice both soft and commanding. Mama M swallowed hard, her throat dry. "I was told you could help me." "Help you?" Baba Kunena's lips curled into a small smile. "No, Mama M. I can give you what you desire. But whether that is help or harm depends on you." "I want my church to grow," she said, finding strength in her ambition. "I want to reach more people, to bring them to God, and make a better life for myself." Baba Kunena chuckled, the low sound that sent shivers down her spine. "You are not the first, and you will not be the last. Many come to me seeking the same. Some are ready for what it takes. Others," he let the sentence trail off ominously. "What does it take?" she asked, her voice firmer now. Baba Kunena gestured for her to sit, and as she lowered herself onto the mat, he began to speak. "Power, true power, does not come from prayers alone. The world is filled with energies, both light and dark. Those who command these energies must make sacrifices, for nothing in this world is for free." Mama M nodded slowly, though her stomach churned. "What kind of sacrifices?" Baba Kunena leaned forward. "There is a ritual. It is simple but potent. Every 6 months, on the night of the new moon, you must go to the cemetery. There, among the resting dead, you will perform an act of communion with the spirits. They will grant you the power you seek." "What kind of communion?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. He reached into a nearby chest and pulled out a small leather pouch. Handing it to her, he explained, "Inside are herbs and powders that will open the gates between the physical and spiritual worlds. You will light a black candle, sprinkle these herbs around you, and recite the incantation I will teach you. Then you will lie down on the earth, over a grave, and surrender yourself to the spirits. The dead will commune with you. You may feel their presence, hear their whispers, or even see their faces. They will mark you as their own, and in return, they will bestow upon you the power to command the hearts and minds of men. But be warned, this pact is binding. Once you begin, you cannot stop. To do so would bring consequences you cannot imagine." Mama M's mind raced with fear, but the thought of her struggling ministry and her unfulfilled dreams weighed on her. "And my church?" she asked. Baba Kunena smiled. "It will grow beyond your wildest dreams. Your name will echo far and wide. Wealth, influence, and respect will flow to you like a river. But remember, Mama M, this path is not without its shadows. The spirits are not generous without expectation." "What will they expect of me?" Mama M asked. "You will honor them," Baba Kunena replied. "By performing the ritual every 6 months, to keep the bond alive. Fail to do so, and they will take back what they have given, and more." "How do I know this will work?" Mama M asked. Baba Kunena's expression darkened. "Doubt has no place here, Mama M. If you are not ready, leave now and return to your prayers. But if you are truly prepared to embrace your destiny, then you must trust in the spirits and in me." After what felt like an eternity, Mama M nodded. "I'll do it." Baba Kunena's smile returned, wider this time. "Good. Your first ritual must be performed this coming new moon. The spirits will be waiting." As Mama M left Baba Kunena's house that evening, the pouch clutched tightly in her hands, she felt a strange dread. She had made her choice, and there was no turning back. Ambition had lit a fire within her, and she was prepared to walk into the shadows to see it burn brightly. What she did not realize, however, was that the shadows had a way of consuming those who dared to enter them. The night of new moon came. Armed with a mixture of fear and determination, Mama M made her way to the town of Leitos Cemetery. The air was thick with an unsettling silence, and the moon cast eerie shadows on the gravestones. Baba Kunena had provided her with a pouch of herbs, a black candle, and instructions to recite certain incantations. As she lay on the cold earth, surrounded by graves, she felt an otherworldly presence envelop her. It was as if unseen hands were reaching out to her, whispering promises of glory and wealth. By dawn, she emerged from the cemetery transformed. The morning after her first night in the cemetery, Mama M woke with a strange, almost electric energy coursing through her veins. The memory of the whispers, the cold presence surrounding her, and the eerie sensations of the ritual still lingered. She felt transformed, though she couldn't quite explain how. When she entered her church that Sunday, something was undeniably different. Her voice carried a resonance that made the congregation hang on to her every word. Her once modest sermons now flowed with a power that seemed otherworldly, and people began to report feeling a physical warmth, a tingling sensation, or a deep sense of peace as she preached. It wasn't long before the pews, which had often been half empty, were filled to capacity. Word of her growing influence spread quickly. Families traveled from neighboring towns to witness the anointed prophetess. A mother who claimed her crippled son had walked after Mama M prayed for him stood as a powerful testimony. Soon, people seeking healing, deliverance, and hope flooded the sanctuary of light. The offerings grew exponentially. Where once her church had struggled to pay its bills, the donation basket now overflowed. Her congregation gave generously, believing her to be a vessel of divine favor. With the newfound funds, Mama M began to expand her church. She purchased state-of-the-art sound systems, hired a professional choir, and renovated the modest building into a grand structure with marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and golden accents. Her ministry extended beyond the pulpit. Mama M launched charity drives, feeding the poor and paying school fees for underprivileged children. These acts of kindness solidified her image as a godsend to the community, though she was careful to remind everyone that their continued support enabled these good works. Her social media presence exploded. Clips of her fiery sermons and supposed miracles went viral, attracting followers from across the country. Soon, invitations to speak at conferences, crusades, and televised events rolled in. Her face appeared on billboards and magazine covers, often accompanied by glowing headlines like "The Prophetess of Prosperity" or "Mama M, God's Mouthpiece." With fame came fortune. Mama M purchased a sleek luxury car that gleamed in the sunlight. She moved into a sprawling mansion in the wealthiest part of Leitos town, complete with a swimming pool, lush gardens. She now wore designer suits, adorned with gold jewelry that sparkled under the lights of her ever-growing stage. Mama M also began to attract influential friends. Politicians, business tycoons, and fellow religious leaders sought her out, eager to be associated with her rising star. Her annual conferences became a spectacle, drawing tens of thousands of attendees and featuring elaborate light shows, choirs, and guest speakers flown in from across the globe. But her greatest achievement was the construction of her church, a massive, state-of-the-art megachurch that could seat 15,000 people. It stood as a monument to her success, its towering spire visible from miles away. The grand opening was a national event, broadcast live on television and attended by dignitaries, celebrities, and thousands of worshippers. Within a few short years, Mama M had gone from a struggling prophetess to one of the most influential figures in the country. She was no longer just a preacher, she was a brand. Mama M's once compassionate demeanor started shifting. Her sermons, while still electrifying, began to carry an edge of fear. She often warned of the dangers of disobedience and the wrath of God, urging her followers to remain loyal and generous. Behind the scenes, she became obsessed with maintaining her power and influence, scared that it could all slip away as quickly as it had come. Her visits to the cemetery continued every 6 months without fail. Each time, she emerged with renewed vigor, her ministry surging to even greater heights as the spirits kept their promise. Mama M's rise was meteoric, but as her star ascended, so too did the weight of the secrets she carried. Among her growing congregation was a man named Samuel, a journalist posing as a devout churchgoer. Samuel had been assigned to investigate the growing trend of unscrupulous religious leaders exploiting their followers. Mama M's meteoric rise had caught his attention. Samuel ingratiated himself into the church, attending every service, and over time, he noticed peculiar patterns. Mama M often disappeared for days around specific times of the year, and her demeanor would shift dramatically afterward. Through careful observation and covert inquiries, Samuel uncovered rumors of her visits to the cemetery. Determined to expose the truth, he decided to follow her during one of her nocturnal rituals. It was a moonless night when Samuel trailed Mama M to the cemetery, armed with a hidden camera. From a safe distance, he watched as she performed the ritual, chanting and lying among the graves. The footage he captured was chilling and irrefutable. The next Sunday, Samuel attended the service as usual. But instead of taking his usual seat, he walked to the pulpit, his voice cutting through the congregation's hymns. "Brothers and sisters," he began, "I bring you the truth about the prophetess you trust." Gasps filled the room as Samuel played the footage. Mama M's congregation, once captivated by her, now stared at her with a mixture of horror and betrayal. Mama M tried to defend herself, claiming she had been framed, but the evidence was undeniable. Within days, her church was shut down, her followers abandoned her, and her wealth evaporated as quickly as it had come. Disgraced and alone, Mama M returned to Komisa, a shadow of her former self. Some say she sought redemption, dedicating her life to genuine service. Others claim she disappeared entirely, perhaps to seek power once again. But in the town of Latos, her story remains a cautionary tale, a stark reminder that ambition unchecked can lead to unthinkable depths, and that the price of power is often far greater than it seems. The end. Kindly note that this video is not meant to discourage anyone from going to church. Its purpose is to raise awareness about fake pastors and encourage discernment. Stay rooted in faith and truth. So comment below your own personal view and what you have learned from this story. Do not forget to press that like and subscribe button, as it helps with our channel to grow and be able to reach more viewers with more entertaining and informative stories. Like and share this video. Comment below your thoughts about modern churches. Thank you for your support. Until next time.